I visited Hawaii for the first time this year. Hawaii has many islands, but we visited the Big Island, or Kona. We went with direct flights from the Bay Area to Hawaii. The flight itself was about 5.5 hours. Stepping off that plane in Hawaii was like a ray of sunshine that we really needed. So we stepped off the airplane and took a shuttle to the rental car place. For us, this was probably one of the most unexpectedly high expenses, with rental cars usually ranging from $30 to $40 per day in other areas of the United States. And this was for a small economic model that was not a 4x4 car. But honestly, if you are visiting Hawaii or planning to visit, I would recommend a rental car because we could go visit shops, restaurants, and beaches whenever we wanted and just get out and explore hotels, resorts, and Airbnbs. These things can get quite pricey, especially hotels and resorts. On average, from what I saw, range between $300 and $500, with some being in upwards of thousands of dollars per night. So we decided to go with Airbnb, and using Airbnb, we found a condo located in Kailua-Kona, very close to the downtown shops area. The condo itself was very clean, stocked with the basic necessities and items that we needed. My favorite feature of it was the balcony that looked over the west side of the island. As we sat there in the morning enjoying our coffee, we just looked out into the vast expanse of ocean, which was dotted with sailboats. These are the ones that we visited, and I would highly recommend all of them. But if I had to choose one, this first one in particular was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. The water was this incredibly clear turquoise blue that I had never seen before, and the sand was like walking over clouds. We set up our beach chairs and beach blankets on these little ledges that the beach offered. The waves were just perfect. They weren't too big, and there were so many people out enjoying themselves. We enjoyed poke on the beach, sunbathed. The next beach we visited was the Black Sand Beach. It's funny, in 2012, about 10, I had actually screenshotted a picture of this beach on my phone when I was in high school, and it wasn't until after this trip that I realized that I had screenshotted that. So that was just a full circle moment for me. This beach was incredibly unique and unlike anything I've ever seen. I believe this is actually one of the best areas to see sea turtles, something to look forward to during those seasons. This was the last beach we visited. We enjoyed the waves and the sand and ate poke on the beach. And this one was just as beautiful as the other two, although I will say it was much more crowded, so just something to take into consideration. So one of the first activities that we did was to go snorkeling. We opted for a combined boat tour with the snorkeling option. Got to see some amazing panoramic views of the island. We also saw some wildlife that included a hammerhead shark and a family of dolphins. And just looking out into the beautiful ocean was an experience itself. Our tour guide also did an amazing job educating us about the folklore and history of Hawaii. And I feel like I learned so much in a 1-hour session. So I would definitely highly recommend a boat tour, and I feel like if I were to go back in the future, I would do it again. The snorkeling itself was beautiful. Our boat pulled up to this bay and we all jumped off the boat and into the water, and we saw the coral reef and all these kinds of amazing colored fish that honestly looked like they were out of Finding Nemo. Had a really fun time snorkeling, although I will say I was a little bit cold. Me being someone who's really sensitive to the cold, I could feel myself shivering the whole time. There's usually 2 sessions offered per day for these snorkeling/boat tours. I would recommend, if you are sensitive to the cold like me, to opt for the afternoon option, which I think might be a little bit more warm. Now, on our 4th day in Hawaii, we attempted to visit the Mauna Kea observatory. I say attempt because it was pretty clear once our car reached the bottom of the mountain that it would probably not make it up to the top based on the noises and shakiness of the car. Our car had a pretty hard time making it to the visitor station, and it was there we found out that you did need a 4x4 car to visit the summit to go all the way up to the top. So my key takeaway tip is, if you are visiting Hawaii and plan to visit a summit, observatory, or just explore any of the mountains or trails, I would definitely recommend getting an all-wheel drive at the rental car shop. So needless to say, our car did not make it all the way up, but we did get to visit the visitor center and check out some of the exhibits that they had and learn a little bit more about Hawaii. Heading back to the west side of the island, we stumbled across this really thick fog, which was almost like this dense cloud layer completely blocking or almost completely blocking the vision on the street. So we turned on the high beams and luckily it did clear out within a couple miles. But that does bring me to another key tip. Expect the unexpected, especially unexpected weather or unexpected weather conditions. On our last day in Hawaii, we enjoyed a lūʻau. It's essentially like a large celebration that usually includes traditional Hawaiian music, dancing, food and drinks, and a buffet. And I feel like in itself it was a lesson on traditional Hawaiian culture and history expressed through the art form of dance. I would highly recommend going to a lūʻau, and I believe that there's all kinds of different companies that offer lūʻau, so you can look around and compare and find one that works for you. I love food and I will eat almost anything that you put in front of me. I was really excited to try the poke and the fish and all the fruits and vegetables in Hawaii. Now, being from the Bay Area, we have pretty good poke here, or so I thought, but then I tried Hawaii poke and I realized what I was missing. I have to say Hawaiian poke is just on a different level. The flavors and textures of the fish and the sauces together are unlike any poke I've tried. So I would highly encourage you to at least try the poke there if you're visiting Hawaii, because even if you've had it in the past, I can assure you that you haven't had the Hawaiian poke experience. Also, the poke sides were so yummy. One of my personal favorites was a Hawaiian mac and cheese. We just had all the best textures in one. We also indulged in some pretty amazing desserts. One of my personal favorites being the traditional malasadas from a bakery we visited. Kind of like this unique take on a donut without being as sweet, but also being fluffier and more delicious in some ways. We also got to indulge in some yummy gelato. We did not try the shaved ice, but I would definitely go back to try some. I would say it is worth splurging on food, especially the local and authentic Hawaiian food if you get the chance to try some. Hawaii is such a beautiful island with incredibly beautiful and kind people. It was a privilege to get to enjoy all the island had to offer. I would recommend visiting if you're looking or thinking about it. If there's anything that I wish I would have done, it was the nighttime manta ray snorkel. Looking back, I honestly wish I had done it. That would have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience, unlike anything I've done. I do regret that a little, and I would highly recommend at least checking it out if you are planning to visit the Big Island in particular. Also, if you are interested in learning more about Hawaii and its geography, culture, and history, I would highly recommend checking out this book, which was in our Airbnb. I read a little bit of it every day we were there, and I was completely immersed in it and all that it taught me. I recommend checking it out online or getting a copy if you're planning to visit. I hope this video was helpful for you if you're planning on visiting Hawaii or even just curious to learn more about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.